He
Well, if
is.
anyone knows what reality is, this guy. Oh, I didn't think my shorts had been shot. I'm wearing shorts
that's
today,
nice.
which is very hot. You know,
I
we're
know.
getting towards summer. Hello, my name is Mike. This is On the Mic, and this is Shaka Shano.
Hey, how are ya?
He's got to be one of the world's greatest wedding celebrants. He's got a Reality Is podcast, and he was on a reality TV show.
I know the guy that does the voiceover is really good. He does all the good voices.
He is amazing.
He
I
has
do love that guy. I follow him on Instagram.
I do too.
Yeah.
I've been
So
watching-
funny the things he does.
been
You seen
watching
his little puppy? He's banging that
Yeah,
toy every
I
night.
know.
Oh, sorry. I digress. Yes. Shaq Shano, welcome to the show.
Thank
Good
you
to see
very
you.
much.
How are you, man?
Very, very good.
How are you
Thanks for
enjoying
having
Celebrity Life?
me. It's a bit slow at the moment. Obviously, COVID. I went out
You guys got so ripped off.
I know,
You
right?
usually you'd have the full series, and then you'd have the big after party from
know.
Big Brother.
High-fiving people.
You'd be out for days. All the bars would be letting you in. You get your
Yeah.
bar tabs.
Yeah.
Girls throwing themselves at you. Not that would happen because you're married and you have a beautiful wife. and children.
Yes, of course.
But dude, not even the appearances that you get paid.
No, nothing.
Like I remember, like back in the early 2000s, when Big Brother was at its peak back in that day, like people were charging up to 20 grand to show up, just
Wow.
do a nightclub appearance for an hour, sign some
Wow.
autographs, drink some tequila, and piss off.
Yes, I missed all of that. I didn't get any of that. No,
Well,
not even a shot of tequila.
I'm sure that we can arrange that.
Yeah.
The Reality Is podcast with Liz Cantor.
Yes.
Surfing Liz,
Yeah,
the
love
Lotto
Surfing Liz.
weather girl.
Yep.
But she's more than that. She's not just a Lotto weather girl. I mean, she's a journalist. I've seen her on Creek to Coast and Great Southeast or those kind of travel
Yeah,
shows. I
she
think I
does
just mentioned
heaps.
7 and 9, and she's only 7.
Yeah.
Or is she 9?
7.
7, yes.
Yes,
I should
Channel
know
7.
because I work with Channel 7. Sorry, Liz. Yeah, Liz and I hosted a show together on Channel 7 called the Australia's Biggest Barbecue or something like that. Barbecue show. I think it went for like 2 episodes.
Yeah, right. So it's a quality show.
Yeah, they go, oh, the ratings are a bit meh. I don't know if that's what it was. I think it was like a brand funded thing, and there's so many of those things that come and go over the years. But yeah, I love Liz. She's an awesome surfer too.
Yes, she is.
Better
She's
than
pretty,
me.
Pretty handy in the water, old Liz. I actually married her in the water and in Bali. So did 2 ceremonies for Liz, a surfing ceremony and a Bali ceremony.
Do you do a surfing ceremony where
Yes,
people
we
get
did,
married in the surf?
Yeah.
What about if they get divorced? Do you have a wipeout ceremony?
Yeah, just push him in over the rocks.
So what's involved in a surfing ceremony?
So
what do
we
you
just
do?
get them out there on their boards and sit there and we just paddle around. I do the ceremony out there with a couple of mates and then we just, do it all out there. They kiss and then we catch some waves in together. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And like, how many people do they have? They have like all of the bridal party there as well.
Yeah,
or
everyone. So Liz had about 10 out in the water for hers. It was good. And
do we have all
yeah.
the grandparents on a lilo or something like that?
Most people stayed on the beach. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of people just watched from the beach.
Yeah,
but,
have you seen any sharks or anything like that?
No. Luckily enough, we avoided all that. But there has been a few lately. There's been a few down my way lately.
Yeah, I'd be worried about that.
I know.
You're out there getting married and then dun.
Well, it'd be all right if you didn't really want to get married. If it was one of those prearranged marriages.
After they say I do they catch a wave and they and they are they on the same surfboard or separate boards?
Separate boards. So Liz and Ryan were on a wave. We actually got a photo. So Liz and Ryan were on a wave, and I was on the outside of the wave with them. So it was really cool.
Oh
We're on the same
wow!
wave, catching it in.
Good on you, Liz.
I
You're
did ceremony in my mouth.
Yeah.
Laminated ceremony in my mouth.
and you're an avid surfer.
Yes, I do like the water. Haven't been out for a couple of weeks actually because I pulled a hammy playing OzTag.
Oh,
So
that's so many people get injuries from OzTag.
OzTag. Man, I broke my collarbone playing OzTag as well.
How do you break your collarbone? It's not tackle. It's
Mate,
sip.
I know, but this
It's
guy,
tag.
This
Did
guy
someone
was
tag
the
you really hard?
fastest kid in the world. He was like, he was the road runner. He was the fastest kid of all time. He was Usain Bolt, and I was just flogging down. I went to dive.
You dived and tried to tag
Yeah,
his foot.
and I missed.
Don't you have to get like a Velcro thing on their shirt
on
or
his,
something?
on his pants.
So-
Yeah, so I missed that totally. He was gone. He
Just
was
go the
well and
whole
truly-
pants and tag 'em.
He was well and truly over the sideline by the time I'm scoring the try before I even landed, I think. And then, bang.
Have you done it? You've done a surfing wedding. You've done a footy wedding.
Footy wedding? No footy weddings. I've done a stand-up paddleboard wedding. I've done
You
heaps
could do a
of
footy
odds.
wedding though. You like scrum it down, bridal party. you play the ball and it's the register they have to sign.
just
Sign the
don't
ball instead of a register. I
I
don't know.
don't know who's going to tackle
What's
who,
the
though.
weirdest wedding you've done?
The weirdest wedding? I've done heaps of strange weddings. I've dressed up as a monk for one wedding, like a medieval one.
What?
Yeah, it was strange.
Did
And
you
they
have
had
to
real
read some
swords.
occult shit?
And they had blood vials around their necks.
No.
And I shit you
What?
not.
Why?
Because they were just into medieval and that sort of vibe, you know what I mean?
That's freaky, man.
I've done Elvis. I've dressed up as Elvis and sung a couple down for an elopement. And that was pretty fun, actually. They had like a whole Vegas theme going on in their backyard. That was, it was really cool.
That's fun. You
Yeah,
ever
it was
married
cool.
any animals?
Yes, 2 llamas.
No, you didn't.
Dead set. Check my Instagram. Check my Instagram. It's on there somewhere. Shane Vincent Celebrant. Me marrying 2 llamas down at O'Reilly's vineyard.
How do you know that 2 llamas actually like each other?
Well, I don't know whether they really did, to tell you the truth. I think it
They
was a
spit at each
pre-arranged
other?
marriage.
You went out spit on the bride.
Yeah, they were. They were a bit spitty. Like the male kept running around, but they kept circling me as well. So it was very hard to maintain them two getting it on.
Speaking of spitting on the bride, do you know some countries they actually do that?
Yeah, well, not in this one.
I think it's a ancient Greek tradition to spit on the bride.
Really?
They do. Yeah.
Straight on them. I know it was smashing plates.
I don't think it's an actual like. There you go. I think it's like a.
That
Hey,
sounds-
it's what I'm married to a Greek girl, and
Did she spit on your face?
I've heard that. No, but we were supposed to. Well, if I had a few drinks, maybe. Not saying that I'm into it all the time. I mean, sometimes if she wants me to do it, I'll do it. Wait a minute, what am I talking about?
Mate, this has gone down a track that I'm not too familiar with.
Yeah, no, it's not something that I would be a fan of. But some people into that,
Yeah.
into the spitting on each other.
Spitting, there's some weird stuff, especially during COVID. Things have come out. A lot of time, too much
Little
time
bit
at
of-
home.
A little bit of a smack on the bot's all right.
That's a little tap.
But can the girl smack the guy on the bum?
Yeah, I get smacked on the bum at home still on occasion if I'm.
Yeah, but that's because you're naughty.
Yeah, I know
But,
that.
but like, I mean, I don't really like being smacked myself because maybe I'm giving away a little bit too much here. But
I
just
think you're really
just a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
I was smacked very hard.
Oh, really? Like spanked, not smacked.
Like,
There's a difference.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
She's
right.
like, well, you do it to me. I'm like, yeah, but it's a gentle, friendly tap.
You got
It's not just a big, because
Right.
like she's just gone boom. And I'm like,
Oh. Was there a red hand mark on your
yes,
buttocks? Oh, wow.
it's probably still there now.
It's bruised. It's come through.
Man.
Oh.
Anyway, we've gone off track here. We were talking about weddings.
Yes, we were.
Which I would like to focus on for a while, and then I want
Yes.
to talk about the Reality Is podcast
Yes.
and your experience on the greatest reality TV show known to man,
Absolutely. I'd love to get into that.
Big Broski.
Yes.
Oh, look, there's my Big Brother poster.
Yeah, I was
there.
just
You can
looking
sort
at
of see in shot. Yeah.
I was just looking at
Yeah. So you say how long have you been a wedding celebrant for, and
So-
what made you decide to do that?
So 7 years. I went to a few weddings with my wife during my late 20s, and the celebrants weren't great. They was forgetting people's names during the ceremonies and
You
stuff
thought
like
there's
that.
an opportunity here.
I did. I looked at that, and my wife goes, "You could do that if you wanted to." And I said, "Yeah." So I pretty much looked into it straight away after a wedding, and then did the course, and then away I went. So
What were you doing at the time?
I'm flight attendant. I was flying for Virgin.
Oh yes,
I was a
You wanted to.
Yeah, so I used to work at Crazies with Bree and Dave Eastgate also. back in the day.
Ah,
Actually, I had
Crazy's is a comedy restaurant
Yeah, right.
in Brisbane where they do all this crazy stuff while you're having
Crazy
dinner.
stuff. Yeah.
That was fun, and
Yeah.
Troy and Zara Swindles
yeah,
Gross.
Yeah.
They were pretty cool dudes. Whatever
Yeah.
happened to those crazy
think
comedians? I saw Dave Eastgate, who's a very funny guy. I think he got a main role in Magic Mike, and
Yeah,
he's been in a few other stage plays, and I think he even got nominated for like Best New Actor because he had a spot in a show on House Husbands.
Yes, that's
House
right.
Husbands on
That's
Channel
right,
9. He got a
yeah.
little part in there, which so proud of him. He was like a great comedian, and then it was writing stuff for me on Big Brother many years ago.
A musician.
Did you know he was my writer on?
I didn't know he was a writer. I knew he does a lot of warm up and
Yeah.
stuff like that for the
Well,
voice and stuff like that.
I
as
used
well.
to do the warm up on Big Brother back
Yeah.
when the show started, and then I was hosting Big Brother Up Late and Friday Night Live and all this other stuff, and I'm like, I can't do the crowd warm up as well as host a show, so I taught him how to do it.
Yeah, right.
And then he just got all the work. He's doing like all the big shows like Australian Idol
Yeah.
and.
He was
all
The
those
Voice
big
last
things that
summer, I
need the
think he was
voice.
doing,
Yeah,
yeah. I saw him on
I
Sunday.
did that. I got fired for the voice.
Did you?
I did that for a couple of episodes. It
Yeah,
was,
right.
because what happened was Channel 9 brought all of the hoity-toity carpet-strolling wankers to sit in the front 2 rows, and I'm trying to get the crowd pumped, and the crowd behind is standing up,
Yeah.
and I've got the director and the executive producers of Shine Endemol screaming at me, who the fuck's this crowd warm-up guy? He's not why the fuck aren't the people standing up in the front row? They didn't realise they had the talk back on,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I go up to people in front line and say, please, guys, I need you to actually stand up when the judges stand up and there's a
Be involved.
16-year-old kid that's doing something that's making everyone cry. And literally this guy goes, mate, don't fucking tell me what to do. I've just spent 180 grand on this fucking show. And I'm like, are you... Okay, all right. No worries, man. You just fucking do whatever you like. Yeah. And the fucking Channel 9 sales guy, don't fucking speak to my client like that. I'm like, well, you want, and I went to The Voice in the States as a part of my research.
Yeah, of course.
No, I had some friends who work in reality TV over there, and they sat me in about 4 or 5 rows from the back.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be really interesting to see what happens with the crowd here, because like the first 4 rows, people on their phones, no one was talking. I thought, that's really weird. These people don't look like they're into it at all. Yeah. As soon as the show started, they're like, they jump, they scream. They were all paid.
Oh, right.
They were paying the first 4 rows.
Yeah, right.
Because everyone behind, they have to stand up then because they can't see the show.
Yeah, right. What?
And that was making me think, well, fuck, I got the sharp end of the stick on that.
Didn't you?
on that deal. But anyway, so back to Wedding Celebrant, because we're talking about you, and somehow I tend to make it about me sometimes.
I don't mind, because it's interesting that we know similar people. We're sort of like degrees of separation a little bit with people we know.
And then you all of a sudden, wedding celebrant. Were you nervous for your first wedding?
Yes, luckily it was a mate of mine, so I wasn't entirely nervous, but now I feel as though I get more nervous in front of family and friends when I do it as opposed to strangers, like maybe yourself. Like, I get real nervous when I'm performing in front of, like, people because they can just give you shit later on about how shit you were, but when you're strangers, you never see them again, so it's okay. So, I did friends, and it went down all right, and then from then I ended up doing a wedding expo, and I booked like 30 weddings in a day, and then it just sort of...
I saw you down at the Gold Coast Wedding Expo the other day. You were with Apollo the Magician or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you have a cardboard cutout of yourself?
Yes, I do, because sometimes I can't be at the same expo at the same time, so I'll just put that there and go off to another one.
Or is that people can't afford the fee for your wedding celebrity? Like, you give them a recording and give them the cardboard cutout. They're like, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today.
So they walk past and the red eyes just shine, the mouth starts to move.
Budget celebrant.
Yeah, very cheap.
Have you ever had anything go wrong at a wedding?
I've had a bride not turn up for like an hour and a half, and we had no phone reception, so the groom was pretty distressed because we had no idea whether she just done a runner or something happened to her or something like that. So,
or just wasn't interested.
Yeah, I've had a mother. Yeah, maybe just pissed off. I've had a mother-in-law just scream her head off at every vendor, telling us it was pissing down rain outside, and like the musician telling the musician, I'll get this going. The musician to get outside and play guitar in the rain, and me to stand out in the rain because the daughter wanted to get married outside regardless of the weather. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not putting my PA outside. And the muso's like, I'm not taking my guitar outside. I get warped in the rain. And
people freak out because like so much pressure.
I know.
Have you met any bridezillas?
Yeah, a couple. I've had a couple down the line. Yeah.
It's their one day to shine. It means so much.
I know. I understand that, and I get it. And I understand that. Look, because it is a big preparation for like a one-day event. You're like, people plan their weddings for lifetimes and years ahead, and to get everything perfect, and whether it's going to be like rain or hail or floods or something that's going to ruin it. Sometimes that just happens, and you've got to be prepared for that. So,
have you ever got up there and gone, "Oh shit, I've forgotten their names"? Oh, it's all written out. It's all written down, isn't it?
I'm pretty good. I write everything down. All my ceremonies are on an iPad these days, which is nice. But when I first started, used to be the old foolscap page opener, and the wind would just blow your ceremony away, and you'd be like, "Fuck, I'll just wing it." So,
can you guys put name tags on?
Yeah. Luckily, I can speak underwater, so that's all right. Let's keep.
And so the bride or groom has never not showed up, or has anyone ever stood up in the audience and said, "Hey, I protest"? We know when you say, "If anyone here would like to say something, speak now or forever hold your peace."
Yeah, I don't say that for that reason, because I don't want anyone to say.
Man, that makes it exciting. Because you've always got someone, a gay guy might go, "I'll stop. He's supposed to be with me.
He was with me last night." I've had a mother, actually, just when I've asked the parents for their blessing at the start, a mother not give it, and then I sort of just glazed over that and just kept going.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's nothing you can do, and it's kind of I was like, I was under the impression that if you are just going to go there to ruin this day of your son or your daughter or whatever, and you don't give their blessing, just don't go. Just don't turn up. Go to the pub. Go somewhere else on that day.
Some people are just grumpy.
Yeah, I know.
Do you ever get so caught up in it where you get a bit teary, or is
I
that do people have to pay extra for that?
Yeah, tears, the golden tears run down.
If you'd like me to cry halfway through the ceremony,
Yes.
Hugh Jackman, Boy from Oz style,
Yes.
towards the end, then that's an extra $80.
Yes, per tear.
That never happened?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, sometimes there are touching moments because they resonate with things that have happened in your life personally. Like my mother died before I got married, 3 months before I got married, so she didn't get to go to my wedding and stuff like that. So when people like that similar story happens and they are doing a tribute to their parents or what have you, sometimes that hits home, because you can't, I'm not made of stone, so, you know, when you hear stuff like that, you do tend to well up, and sometimes I'll do a funeral. I've done a couple of funerals.
Oh, right, wow.
And unfortunately, I did a couple. I married a couple at the start of the year, and then they had a baby, and it died like two weeks later or something, and they had a funeral for it and asked me to do it.
Oh,
and
tough gig.
Tough gig. That was tough. Like small coffin, father reading a
Did
letter.
you know them, or did they
Yes.
just look you up? And,
No, I knew them.
'cause
So
it'd be so hard for
it
anyone to
was
get up. They need someone that can
terribly
get up
difficult.
and talk. How do you sort of disconnect to be able to speak?
Just You do. The only moment that really got me, like, because I was just like disconnected, but the only moment the father wrote a letter to his unborn son or his dying son, and it was just this really heartfelt sort of emotive letter, and I was like, it was outside over the Point Danger, you know, up down the coast there, overlooking the ocean, and I was like looking up at the sky, just trying not to listen and cry, and I was just welling up, and it took a moment to swallow the big box that was in my throat to get it back down so I could speak again. So
it makes you question our existence on the planet sometimes.
It does.
When obviously we all know stuff like that happens, but when you actually see it happen, you go, well, why do I get to live this amazing life where I've lived to age 40 and like a little baby that
doesn't even get a shot, doesn't even get a roll of dice, you know what I mean? So that's when people always say, because my mother died quite young as well at 54, and they go, oh,
sorry to hear that,
yeah,
mate.
No, mate, you know, life's life, you know what I mean? I got a shot, and I said, mate, I was lucky, you know, I get to spend 30 years with this woman, you know, and so I wasn't too, people like glasses half full for me, not for half empty.
Close to your mum?
Yeah, I'm a mummy's boy. Yeah, absolutely.
And your dad's still around?
Yeah, dad's still around. He's still kicking down sort of Cornubia area. He's a bit hard during COVID because I couldn't come past Ormo because I was in the bubble at Tweed Heads, so I didn't really see him that
I'll see you on the New South Wales side of the border.
Yeah, I was Tweed Heads.
Oh, that's right, because we wanted to do this for a long time. You haven't been able to go across the border.
Yeah, I couldn't come up.
Now, what do you think of her keeping the borders shut for so long?
Yeah,
when I say her, I mean Anastasia Palaszczuk.
Yeah, no, I don't know where to go with this political statement. I guess, you know, it depends which side of the border you're on. For me personally, it kind of disrupted the way I do business because with regards to weddings being booked north of Ormo, so I had to cancel. Well, yeah, I had to give away 6 weddings during that period, so which is a bit different.
I normally do some sort of MC gig every single week.
Yeah,
I'd be hosting some random event somewhere, and it was all gone. I couldn't fly anywhere in Australia.
Yeah,
I think that it was better to just say, okay, look, anyone who's from Parramatta, there's been an outbreak there. You have to stay at home, or you're not allowed to travel outside the bubble. Why spread it out to areas of the state where they haven't even had an outbreak?
We didn't have not one case at Tweed Heads Hospital, not one.
So, it just doesn't make sense.
And, you know, and
it's so political. It's like it's a Labor government in Queensland, it's a Liberal government in New South Wales, and the backwards and forwards stoushing on the news, but you know, saying things at press conferences and bagging and slagging each other, obviously, because there is an election coming up, and the amount of people I speak to that are just so pissed off that this whole border thing has been made political. I mean, there's a lot of other people who support it and go, great, keep the borders closed for longer. I spoke to some old lady down the shops the other day who goes, I don't want any of those dirty Mexicans coming up here to Queensland. I can't wait for the state of origin to kick their asses. You know, it's like, hey, come on.
Listen, I'm here to buy bread, lady. Just give me my loaf of bread.
I don't even know you.
Like it's disrupted a lot of lives, and I just didn't understand the difference between a construction worker going to Brisbane to do construction work and me going to a venue to do my job. I had no contact with anyone,
Yeah.
and then leaving to a venue. I'm only there for an hour.
And you must feel ripped off when your industry suffers, and
yeah.
it's okay for football players who are up here hanging out at Sanctuary Cove on the Gold Coast surfing Instagram for chicks,
Yeah.
and movie stars can fly in and make movies because Anastasia Palaszczuk can get a publicity photo with her.
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden, someone who's just making a living for his family
yeah.
can't do his job.
Yeah, it makes it tough, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
it
watched
just-
that. Like, we were all complaining about the AFL stars because a lot of them are on the coast.
Yeah.
You know, they're saying they've actually shut down Royal Pines for all the teams to play there because it's right near Metricon Stadium, and and a couple of them are getting busted at strip clubs on the piss. You know what I mean? Like getting into fights. You know, and
It's
they're
just
supposed
a
to be
great big farce.
Yeah, it is.
It is an absolute wank that
Yeah.
the Premier has decided it's okay for sports stars,
Yeah.
especially feral ones. Like they're getting busted at Hollywood Strip Club and getting punch-ups in the street.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, and your people who are here to vote for you
Yeah.
aren't allowed to go about their lives and do their jobs.
Yep.
This is just a joke. Anyway, this has become a very
Yeah,
political.
but listen, it's a
show-
political
show.
story, isn't it? All of a sudden, yeah.
Oh, okay, we better cut that bit
Yeah.
out. Are we allowed to say that? Are we playing COVID ads at the moment? Because if Anastasia sees that, then we won't get any of that
Yeah.
COVID money. That's
Yeah.
why 7, 9, and 10 and all the media they're not being hard on her because like advertisers are a few and far between at the moment.
Yeah.
But that sweet, sweet political cash with the
Yeah.
election coming up, the COVID-19 ads,
Yep.
social distance, they're spending millions of dollars on all of the TV networks.
And they love
and
it.
if you say one thing bad about Anastasia, should go roll. Channel 9 said that in the news today. Well, okay. Well, I guess we don't need to spend that $2 million on ads next
Boycott.
week. Bang, give it to Channel 10. Guarantee you that shit is going
Yeah,
on.
of course. I mean, that's politics, isn't it? Backhanded handouts going.
Would you
left,
ever be
right,
a
centre.
politician?
I reckon I'd be a great politician.
You'd be a very positive one. I don't think you'd be slagging people off. I think you would actually step up with good ideas.
Yeah, but then,
And there'd be fun ones too.
Yeah, yeah. So I wouldn't close the border for as long as it has been anyway. So the old lady that you spoke to wouldn't vote for me, obviously, because the borders would have been open like 5 months ago.
I mean, I think a lot of the people who are susceptible to coronavirus should have just had to stay home.
Yeah,
You walk down the street now in Bulimba or say 4 months ago when you're actually allowed to go to the shops, you can see people in their 80s, 90s walking
Yeah,
along. I'm like,
cruising around.
dude, you should be at home.
yeah.
You should be get a Deliveroo because... And they're the ones that should be getting fined for going out because you're too old and you don't look well or you're susceptible to this kind of stuff. Anyway, we've got far too political
Yeah,
for
we
this
have,
program.
we have.
We were just here to talk about it being
Marriage and
a
love.
wedding celebrant, reality shows. Tell us about your new show with Liz Cantor, the Reality Is podcast.
Yeah, Reality Is podcast. It's really good. It's a concept that Liz and I sort of came up with speaking to reality personalities, I guess, and finding out what their journey was to get them to the point of being on the show, their audition process, what they ate, what they wore, all that sort of
Who
stuff.
have you spoken to?
We spoke to Chad from Big Brother 2020.
Chad.
We spoke to Luke from Survivor, also Luke Kennedy from The Voice. Apollo's coming on next week.
Oh, cool.
Liz Jelly that was just on Farmer Wants a Wife. Abby Chatfield from Brizzo. She's was from The Bachelor and
cool.
The Bachelor in Paradise as well.
Nice.
So-
Can I just... I know we've been a bit serious politically, but can I just ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
There's a Big Brother housemate that I'm really worried about at the moment.
One of my,
Yeah.
from my crew.
Yeah, from your crew.
Mate. Yeah, I did see this. I have messaged him during this time. He's from Victoria, so
He's going mad.
He's been in lockdown for a long time, and I tell you what, he's still got a good rig. Oh, Dan, and yeah, hey, Dan's got a good rig.
He looks a bit excited.
I think
if you know what I mean.
That drop there, I thought some package was going to fall
Oh,
out the side at some stage. Yes,
It's not cold, is it?
it's not cold, not
You
very easily.
definitely
He must have the heat
put it
on.
on the barbecue for a minute.
So yeah, he would. He's
I hope you're okay, Dan.
Dan,
Thoughts and prayers.
we do miss you, mate. Good dancing. You and Ange should go on Dancing with the Stars together.
After following him on Instagram,
Yep.
I think that there's a lot of his personality we didn't see on the show.
So much.
And I think if we had like a Big Brother Up Late, that show was awesome.
Yeah.
Then we would have seen things that he did. I think we would have seen a lot more of the sense of humor that you had as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously it's housemates voting each other out to the very end, but Australia might have just sort of tipped it across the line.
Yeah, I think that shows, I guess, the way the show was run this year was definitely different. And I reckon the old the old way, I think, when Australia has a voice and an opinion, they're not just thrust 3 people at the end of the show and go, vote. There you go. You got these 3 out of the 20 that you watched on telly. You know what I mean? Which is
I had no idea what was going on because the only information I had about Big Brother was the fact that I had Sonia Kruger's phone number and a TV.
Yeah, right.
No, they didn't tell me anything,
Yeah,
and
right.
I was just conspiracy theorying left, right, and centre as to what was going to happen at the end. And I thought they were going to bring you all back and say just text the name of the person you think should win. They're all on stage.
Yeah, that would have been. I actually, we've got a group chat going on, and when everyone was out of the house, I actually made that up and put it on the group chat, going, guys, I've just heard this massive rumor that they're just going to get. It's not going to be top 3 or anything. We're just going to get all on stage and just going to throw your name up with a number, and they're going to vote right there. And all the boys out like Chad and Dan and everyone that's in the top 3 going, they can't do that. We got down to last year. I was like, yeah, mate, I'm just heard. Just that's what I heard.
Oh, and we all know how Dan acts when he realises that the rug's been pulled out from under him.
I just thought I'd throw a spanner out there and see.
How's those last couple of episodes?
Yeah.
Where they say, oh, guess who's coming back into the house? Guess who's got another chance? They really, they stuck it to those guys a lot towards the end, didn't they?
Yeah, there was trying times for the boys towards the end. Like, I mean, Chad was always sort of level-headed and he knew what was going on. But the boys, like, I know Dan and Matt were just seeing red when shit like that was going on because they were just like, they were off it, you know. They were just because they could see the end. They could see their goal. They had at one point they had like a 1 in 4 chance of winning the money, you know, and they had Dan, Matt, Soph, and Chad, or Sarah and Chad, or something towards the end. And then Sophie. Then Sophie came back in and threw another spanner in the works, and then that was just like off it. I wasn't there, but I heard rumors that was like, I'm leaving, packing the bags, I'm out, sort of thing.
Do you know what? I'm probably giving this away, and I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Sonia Kruger told me, sorry, Sonia, that her dressing room was around the back of the house.
Yeah,
and just after the shows, she would walk around back to her dressing room and she could hear Matt and Dan like slagging her off in the backyard saying, oh, what the fuck she asked me that for question 4? I can't believe that. What a crap question. and she's like, can they hear me here? I wonder.
We used to sit at the backyard and go, because she always used to go to Dan a lot for questions, like on every eviction, like, and we'd go, it's your night again, Dan. I reckon we'll just count how many questions he's going to ask you. Like, I reckon she goes 8 questions to you, and then he's like, you'll get 4. So we're just having bets on how many questions she'd ask. So Dan usually won because he was the go-to man.
Did you get to have a talk to Sonia?
I didn't meet her.
She was the only reason why I got to be part of this series.
Yeah, right.
Because she's like, hey, Marky, I heard that they might be doing something on 7news.com.au. Do you want to do it? And I'm like, yes. So,
that was great. The Big Bro show was awesome.
Got to have a lot of fun on it. Yeah, you had one of the highest views on your little interview. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, shucks. That's nice of you to say.
But Sonia's very excited right now because, she obviously left Channel 9
to go to 7.
To come to Channel 7. Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden she's... she missed The Voice. She was spewing about losing The Voice when she went to Channel 7, and then all of a sudden, it's back at 7.
Is it going to be too much Sonia Kruger for Channel 7?
Never.
So,
You can
I
never
love your
get
legs.
enough Sonia Kruger.
Sonia, where are you? I love your
want a
legs.
breakfast,
Beautiful legs,
lunch,
and I
and
love
dinner.
you.
That sounds really bad. I probably shouldn't. I want it on the TV all the time.
I was just thinking because you got Sonia doing Big Bro again, and then straight after that, obviously The Voice for Channel 7 next year. Is it going to be just Sonia Kruger 7 next year all the way?
She's in Brisbane at the moment.
Oh, right.
Working on Holy Moly.
Oh, right.
The putt-putt golf show.
Yes,
which was created by a Big Brother housemate.
That's it.
Wes Denning, yeah.
No way.
Wes Denning, and he's teamed up with Chris Colviner, I think his name is, from a production company called Eureka.
Yeah, right.
And Wes was in Bree and Fitzy's year, which I think is series 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And he got on Totally Wild.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to do some presenting, and I introduced him to the lady who was in charge of children's entertainment at Channel 10, and all of a sudden he got that show, and then he got a couple of the cameramen to shoot a couple of his DJ mates called the Stafford Brothers.
I know the Stafford
and
Brothers.
they put a show on Channel V, and then it got sold around the world to MTV, and he thought there might be something in this TV making.
Yes.
And the little bastard, because I've been trying to get a show up here my whole life. This is the only show that I can get up from my garage. He was just smashed it in LA, making a whole stack of different shows. And he's won awards and Emmy Awards. He's got a couple of different series on Netflix. I think there's a dating show on Netflix. And obviously Holy Moly, which is like a prime time show that's second series in the US.
So it's a putting show? Is that right?
They have basically built this huge It's a Knockout Friday night game style putt-putt golf course. So, actually, you know what? He was on Big Brother, and so maybe he saw Friday night games that Brie Fitzy and Mike were hosting.
Yeah, right.
And thought, maybe I could turn this into a putt-putt golf thing.
Because you know what? People miss It's a Knockout. I used to watch it as a kid, and I used to love it. I thought it was the best show on television.
That's one thing I think that Big Brother needs back next year. If it's got me hosting it, obviously that would be absolutely splendid.
Or me helping Mike.
Oh, why not?
host
Yeah,
it.
get a couple of get an old housemate back and an old host.
Yeah, and I'll jump on there.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a fun show to do, and I think the reason why it would do so well in this current TV climate is because it's live.
Yeah.
And that what rates the highest on TV is sport because it's live and people don't know what's going to happen. And TV is so scripted and well prepared. And if you've got a show like Friday Night Games where someone could get voted out of the house if they can't balance a ball on their nose or they can't putt a ball in a hole or they can't walk along a plank while juggling, then.
You're out.
And it's anything could happen.
exciting.
Someone could fall over, and we've had people vomit on the show, have people ride through a glass window. All sorts of horrible things went wrong.
Our budget wasn't great for our games. Not all of them, anyway. Some of them were good, but
They were
some
very
of them,
survivory.
Yeah,
I mean, that obviously
stuck in a box for 6 hours wasn't great.
Yeah, I mean, all of the producers behind the scenes came from Survivor.
Yeah, right.
And so I guess that's why we got that sort of a vibe to it. I mean, it was still like a fun kind of vibe to a lot of the challenges. It wasn't too Survivor, but I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the producers that worked on it because they did a brilliant job, and they should take all the credit for an incredible show as well. Should the housemates?
Mate, I love the producers. Everyone on that show, I've got no complaints with. I had the best time with the producers. They're always lovely to me, and like even when I was evicted and stuff like that, good chats. All the team, the wellness team, fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool. What would be the highlight for you in the whole series?
Oh, for me personally,
Being locked in a box?
no, actually, not being locked in a box. I had there were so many good moments that people didn't get to see, and which is really unfortunate. Like the public didn't get to see the massive personalities in the house. Like I was just saying, like one night that we did this theatre sports games. We just made up characters and played them. Like me and Garth were married gay couple. Not a far stretch for Garth, obviously, but it was, we were married.
Fantasy for you more so.
Yeah, easy because I was married. But yeah, we just had, played games. Sarah was our daughter and she wanted to know about sex for the first time. And we just got thrown into this theatre sports arena and we all had a go at it. And it was just a real fun night. Then they didn't show any of that sort of stuff.
That's the stuff that you really miss. That Big Brother up late kind of thing where there's a live stream and get to know the personalities. You see them, uncut, unadulterated sort of kind of shows. So fingers crossed that it'd be really interesting to see what Channel 7 and Endemol come up with next year.
With the characters here, though.
Endemol Shine.
Yeah, Endemol Shine. Well, with the new guys from, I don't know where they had to base them from during COVID. I don't know how they got a whole team of new housemates from what state and how they had to sort of, I guess, put them somewhere for the auditions.
Have you had people reach out to you and go, "Hey, I'm auditioning.
Yeah.
How do I do it? How did you get on?"
Not even that. I've had people ring me and say, "I've got through the first stage. I'm doing this. I'm doing that." Like a lot of friends of friends or people just hitting me up on Messenger, wanting to talk and let me know if it's a good idea or how they edited it and all that sort of stuff. Because obviously, this show's heavily edited, even though it's a TV show, but it's heavily edited. So, people are concerned about what sort of character they'll get edited as,
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you can say 100 horrible things in a day and 100 great things, but if they edit all the horrible things together and they play them in one shot, you look like Adolf Hitler.
Exactly. It was funny. We always laugh. I always laugh at my last night in the house because in the 15 minutes that Sonia's this big dramatic music and Sonia's like, oh, and there's one person that changed their mind in the last 15 minutes and it was Shane trying to get Matt under the bus, which is not true. I knew I was going to vote for Matt as soon as he was up because he was a threat.
Yeah.
But in that last 15 minutes, it's me At one shot, I've got a shirt on. One shot, I don't have a shirt on. Next minute, I've got my hair done. Next minute, I'm not shaved.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was funny, that last 15-minute edit of me.
Yeah, but you
towards-
see that. The general public don't go,
Yeah, I know.
oh, he's wearing different stuff. They
Yeah,
go,
I know.
oh, yeah, he's a bastard.
Yeah, he's an arsehole.
get that guy out of there.
Oh, mate, Broken Hill hated me.
Broken Hill sending you hate mail.
Hate mail from Broken
Don't
Hill.
go to Broken Hill, you
Well,
get broken.
Well, Matty had to calm Broken Hill down for me and go, listen.
Listen,
stop.
Broken Hill.
Yeah, calm
He's
down.
okay.
He's all right. He's
He
all
had
right.
a town meeting.
Yeah, they did.
At the town hall. Because he was an interesting character in there.
Yeah.
And obviously, following him on Instagram after and seeing
Yeah.
a different side to his personality. He was on a few other shows before Big
Which
Brother.
he didn't mention.
He didn't mention that,
No.
and maybe the producers told him not to mention that. But I thought that was fascinating because he painted the picture in the house. He's just a country bloke,
Yeah.
working in the mines. I don't really do this TV shit. And then hang on a minute,
Yeah.
he was on Have You Been Paying Attention or one of those?
Yeah.
What shows was he on?
Oh, mate, he's been on a few.
Somewhat.
It's a list of shows like the Brain.
Is he
Brain
an
Trust
actor?
or
Like,
something.
what the
yeah,
hell?
I don't know. He's come out of somewhere.
He was a plant.
Yeah, I know, mate. But there's so many things like that. Those backstories aren't really justified either. Like I remember watching Angie's. I've come from Kenya with one suitcase story, and then all of a sudden she tells us like she was a multi-millionaire in
Yeah.
Kenya and had servants, and she doesn't do shit like that. I said,
Yeah.
you came to Australia with one suitcase full of gold bars. You know what I mean? So it's I just went, no, mate. As soon as she was saying she was a multi-millionaire and that, I was like, oh well, that's a good edit.
That explains a bit of her personality,
Yeah,
I
a
guess,
little
the way
bit.
she
Yeah,
was.
yeah. So bit of I guess she grew up in a bit of privileged lifestyle. You know what I mean?
So you been talking to the gang, obviously,
Yeah.
on Snapchat or whatever it is.
yeah,
and-
we're all still in contact. You know what I mean? Like all of us are still really close. Majority of us anyway. Like Talia was up here last Sunday. We went out for drinks with Dave Eastgate.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah, so that was.
How does
pretty funny.
does she know Dave Eastgate?
No,
comedian.
Dave Eastgate came with because
Oh, with you.
yeah. So I don't know how that all happened. A couple of boys from Movie World, like my cousins Tommy G, the MC, they all know each other from the FMX and whatever. They all got together, watched the fights, the UFC fights, and yeah, had a few beers and just got together at the Islander.
Right.
It was nice, and Talia would just happen to be in town, so I just
Yeah,
invited
right.
her. So
And you watch a bit of UFC?
yes, yeah, it was good. It was good last Sunday, the Sunday before. Yeah, it was fun. It was
It was,
good to watch.
it was quicker than I thought it'd be.
Yes, yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, I thought I voted. Oh well, I put bets on sports bet. Just to
Hey,
make-
wait. You have a sponsor? I don't even have a sponsor, and it's my show.
I thought I'd wear this shirt today. Just
Hang on a
you
minute.
know,
Where's my free T-shirt?
Yeah, no, there you have it.
This space for hire.
Yeah, this is-
Advertise here on these boobies.
yeah, I thought it was going to go 5 rounds, but it just didn't. So
Yeah, no, it was an awesome fight.
Yeah.
I rocked up to my friend's place and he said, yeah, man, come over. I got the UFC on. And I was at Chermside over the other side of town and I could have watched it where I was, but I said, oh, no, my mate, you would have paid for it. I rocked up. He goes, oh, I didn't pay for it. And I thought you could just pay on the day. And I'm like, so you haven't got it. So we're looking online to see. We went through all of the different streaming services. No one you could pay to like get it that hour that day. And I think he ended up going on Reddit or something like that.
right.
And I think it's like am I giving away stuff that I probably shouldn't be saying?
It's
But like a half an hour after the actual fight,
Yeah.
some legend puts it up on Reddit and like I was a hero.
Yeah.
It's like we could all watch it. Mind
Yeah.
you, we had a crowd around my phone to watch it.
Yeah, that's fun. It's
We still got to see it.
Done
I mean, my phone's that big, and that's the size of the plasma screen TV over
Yeah.
there. So.
what's the sports thing you're doing?
Oh, the sports thing.
Yeah, I remember. I'll interview you.
Oh, well,
so I'll ask you some questions.
I'm just actually helping out a few sporty friends
Yeah.
who are doing a couple. It's a podcast like this. Rico Gear, who is an ex-All Black, he has a show called The Ruck.
Yes,
and
I watched the whole thing with that your interview.
I did do an interview with him
yeah.
on the mic. That was my show, but
Yeah.
he's got a show on 11sports.net
Yeah.
where he's basically interviewing Wallabies, ex-All Blacks,
Oh, okay.
and talking about the competition. Jesse Williams, who is the Indigenous kid from up at Thursday Island,
Yeah.
and I think it's Thursday Island. Yeah, I should know that because we've become friends. and he played in 2 Super Bowls, and one of the Super Bowls they won for the Seattle Seahawks.
He's a photographer
And now he's a photographer,
Yeah.
and he's doing some amazing photography work, and he's an artist. But anyway, he has an NFL show that's probably going to spin off into more of a sport kind of chat show. We got cricket shows and tennis show and an NFL and an NRL and an AFL show. So yeah, there's a lot happening. But I wasn't really going to tell people that. I was just sort of keeping that quiet. But
Sorry.
that's right. You let the cat out of the bag.
Oh, well,
you got the exclusive on my show.
So there was. I was just trying to pitch myself for that little demographic of surfing. There's a little surfing spot for Shane there.
We need a surfing show.
We do.
Yeah. What would you call it?
Surfing with Shane.
Surfing with Shane.
Shaka Shane.
Well, every show's called, the Ruck is the rugby show.
What about the green room?
The take. The green room.
Surfing the web.
But it's got to have a the in front of it. The web, the surf, the dump.
Yeah.
The dump.
The dump doesn't sound nice.
Have you seen that new show Rivals that they're
Yes.
playing on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah.
Surfing Australia putting it together.
Yep.
Chris Marta, the new CEO, he's come in there and he's absolutely trailblazing surfing around the world, not just Australia, setting up wave pools around the countries and this TV show where people competing against each other. What do you think?
I reckon it's unbelievable. I've been watching the Rivals. I reckon it's such a great concept, and seeing the old school surfers compete and stuff like that, and just talk about their favourite waves and their best, and their local spots as well. It's unbelievable.
Bit of sledging going on.
So much sledging. It's so good.
That makes it so good to watch.
Yeah, it is so
And
good.
so that's Channel 9, obviously, well done for putting on a good show, but it has the time slot, Channel 9.
Yeah, I know.
Needs to be a little bit like maybe 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, put it on the evening. I reckon you get more of an audience anyway, because, I mean, the guys that you want to target are out surfing at that stage. So
Especially if the surf. Maybe they just play the show on Channel 9 if the surf's crap.
Well, the surf's pumping today. It's and yesterday, so it's supposed to go northerly tomorrow. But yeah, yesterday and today, it's good.
How many boards you got?
About 11.
11.
Yeah, about 11. So
I have none. I need a board.
you can come down, borrow any one of mine anytime.
Oh, really? Whereabouts are you living on the coast?
Tweed Heads.
Oh, yeah, cool. That's right.
Yeah.
How far from the beach?
About a K back from Kira.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's nice.
Did you ever
leisurely
compete?
walk. No.
No, not that good.
I'm not that good.
Yeah.
No. I'm actually a pretty average surfer when it comes to surfing. So especially down that area, everyone rips down where I live. I started surfing pretty late in life, actually. I wasn't born into the beach culture. Like I grew up on the south side of Brisbane. So
okay.
So I wasn't really surf culture
The
for me.
4170.
Yeah.
Actually, Jesse, who I was talking about before, Jesse Williams, the NFL player, he's got 4170 tattooed on his face.
Right.
He's got a lot of tattoos, though.
Yeah, right.
That's in case he falls asleep and someone knows where to send him, I
Yeah,
guess.
I've got made in Australia tattooed my ass for the same reason. When I
Bullshit.
used to, dead set. Because I used to fall asleep in Bali face down all the time. So I thought if I fell down, they'd take me to a consulate if I was unconscious.
Whereabouts is it on your ass?
Just on the top cheek here. Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
All right.
It's the internet. We can show stuff like that.
Can we?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Make sure it's the right cheek. Oh, that's living the dream on that side.
Can we get a...
There you go.
Oh, there it is. Made in Australia.
There you go. Straight there.
It's quite bushy in Australia, isn't it?
It's bushy. It's living, where we got that?
Oh, what else over here?
Living the dream. But it looks like I wing the dream because I got it done in Bali.
Oh, living the dream.
It's bushy down in there.
Well, you see everything in this show, don't you?
Welcome. You're welcome. That show's for free.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing us your ass. I'm
no
just a little bit
worries.
flustered now. I
Yeah,
don't,
sorry,
don't
everybody.
really know which direction to take the interview in.
Well, I was interviewing you actually.
yeah,
so
that's
that
right.
was-
You were
was-
too. So
was-
I forgot whether it was my show or your show.
Sports.
Wasn't sure what the hell was going on. So we've obviously covered your time on Big Brother.
Yeah.
We've talked about your new show, the reality show with Lizzie Cantor.
Yeah, the Celebrant
your time
Circle.
as a celebrant. Where can people hire you if you've got any celebrant gigs
So
coming up?
we've got at the moment I've changed it up to call the new business is called the Celebrant Circle.
Yeah.
So just go online, Google Celebrant Circle, and check it out. And there's heaps of celebrants there. There's an array of celebrants, a plethora, if you will.
Oh, so you teamed up with a whole stack of
Yeah,
guys.
it's
All right.
just so all the good ones. So we can just start sharing weddings and instead of competing, work together and so we've just got one website called the Celebrant Circle. So check it out.
Well, that's good because you'd all have a certain rate then, rather than
Flat
someone
rate for
coming in
everyone.
that's like $50 and one
Yeah.
guy that's 10 grand. And
Yeah, exactly. So we're all sort of the same rate, so you can get us. And the good thing is, if one's booked, there's heaps of different variations of celebrants you can hire, which is awesome.
yeah, nice.
So, yeah.
Cool. Where's that website? Where do they go?
So the Celebrant Circle.
And where do they follow you? Where does everyone find you?
Shane Vincent Celebrant on Instagram if you want to follow me there as
For
well.
lots of fun and games. Shane
No,
Vincent
Celebrant.
Celebrant.
Yeah. Shane Vincent Celebrant, yeah. And if you want to check me out on the new surfing...
The dump.
The dump. I don't think we're calling it the dump. I think we need to come up with a better name than the dump.
The green room. I like the
Yeah,
green room.
the green room's
when you're
nice.
in a barrel.
Yeah, it's nice.
Have you seen some of the new wave pools that are opening up around Australia?
Amazing. I had a rumour that one's opening on the Gold Coast, quite close to the Gold Coast,
Yeah,
inland,
very soon.
very
So
soon.
we're not talking about Wet and Wild.
No, it's inland from Wet and Wild. It's even closer to the beach than I thought.
You know, there's and I probably shouldn't be saying this on the show because, you know, I hear things and they're top secret, but people wouldn't have told me if they didn't want to get out because they know I have a big mouth. But a friend of mine who works in Singleton, he works a lot in the mines there and is helping them figure out what to do with the mines once they're not using the space. There's a big dirty big hole in the ground, looking at building wave pools. And building up a regional tourism industry with some of the biggest wave pools in the world. So
That's
you can
amazing.
go into wine country and go drinking wine and
go for
tasting at
surf.
night and then go surfing. I mean, you can do that in the Margaret River in Australia, of course, but
Yeah.
it'd be cool to do that in the Hunter Valley.
less
No
sharks.
surf, no surf in Newcastle, so you just drive inland for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Wave pool.
Get drunk and go surfing and wind. Well, get drunk and surf.
Kelly Slater really broke the ground with his surf ranch.
Yeah. But the thing is, I've seen the one that Oki's got going.
If you've just joined the show and you're wondering what's going on, I don't know what he does with Oki in his spare time, but
it's the
they're just
pump.
good friends.
It's the-
Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I know the big pendulum that
Yeah,
just
that-
drops in the
that
water and
drops,
just makes a
and
big splash and everyone
so-
surfs it.
I was talking to Dingo Morrison recently, and he showed me pictures of his phone. He helicoptered up there to Rockhampton, where it is, and he was showing me that there's 5 different breaks around this pendulum thing that forms waves, and he said there's like heaps of waves, like 2,000 an hour or something like that, ridiculous. Like
That's
there's-
pretty good.
Yeah, so there's just like heaps of waves, heaps of beginner waves, intermediate waves, advanced level waves. Yeah, he says it's amazing. So they're going to try get that concept and move it down the coast. I'm
I
assuming
wonder if they'll ever build a big wave pool,
like
a 20-foot
big one.
Ediaco, big massive Hawaii wave pool.
How would they possibly do that? Just a bigger pendulum.
Who knows,
Yeah,
man?
I know.
Well, there's a lot of cruise ships that no one's using at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe they just pick them up and just dump them in the water. And just,
Maybe one of these big mines.
They could.
Yeah, I know.
that could be the way it heads.
Yeah, there you go. Big wave riding in Singleton.
Have you surfed in Hawaii?
No,
That's pretty cool.
no, I've never surfed Hawaii.
Take a big long board because
yeah.
the tides there are ridiculous.
Yeah, right. I've never-
Like you've seen all those surf movies in Hawaii, they're always on the big long.
Yeah.
That's because they are paddling for a long time to get to the actual waves.
Yeah, right.
I stupidly took my 6'2" thruster
Yeah.
and thought that I'd be okay
Yeah.
and just spent the day paddling,
Yeah, right.
basically.
Yeah, nice.
We got to hang out with a guy called Jamie O'Brien.
Oh yeah, I know Jamie.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know Jamie O'Brien, but I know of Jamie O'Brien.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and there wasn't a lot of surf that day. But he lives in Pipeline. And
Yeah.
it was flat.
Yeah.
Mind you, I still paddled out so I could say that I surfed the pipe.
yeah, that's good.
And he took us. Or what do you call it? What's the board that pops out of the water? It's got like a foil board.
Oh
boarding.
yeah.
Yeah, so you basically get towed along behind a jet ski.
Yeah.
Foil board pops out of the water, and you just get on a ripple, and you can just go like this one guy that did it between islands apparently,
right.
and just followed a ripple of the swell.
What's the concept? I don't know. I've never done it, so I don't know whether is it like that. Like, do you have to move your body? Like, you know,
Like what?
Do you have to go like lean into it? You know what I mean? Like forward back motion to get the foil.
Yeah, I just want to see you do that more. I love your movements.
Thank you. I was doing Hawaii there, so that was like a hula dance.
I can play Hawaiian music on my nose.
Can you?
You want to hear?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Why did how did you find that out?
I don't know.
Were you in Hawaii
One night after one too many tequilas, maybe.
where someone was playing on the ukulele and you
Yeah.
went, I can do that? I've never. No, I
No,
haven't got it.
you got to have proper training.
I've got a didgeridoo. I think mine was a bit deep.
What is your background?
No, I'm Australian.
Mm.
Italian Australian. I'm Italian on my mother's side. So yeah, my grandmother was Italian and grandfather Scottish. but really, I'm just Australian.
We're all just bitsers in Australia, aren't we?
Yeah, thrown together.
Convicts and you know
Yep.
people from other countries that
Yep.
have been escaping their countries, and we're the rough parts of the RSPCA
Pretty much, we're the
dog
mutts.
pound that have just sort of thrown them all together, and
Yeah.
here we are.
We're the mutts of the world.
And we're making the most of it.
We are. We're good mutts, though. I like our country. I've been around a fair bit, like through flying and stuff like that. But yeah, like they say, there's no place like Australia. I think there's no culture like it, and there's definitely not a place like it, like pristine beaches and rainforests and being so close to everything. Yeah, so it's I like everyone's going so far away. We love it that way. I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, it's I guess it's worked for us with COVID.
Yeah, it's worked for us with a lot of diseases actually. So,
But I mean, if you remember SARS when that happened, I mean that got into Singapore and
Yeah.
Malaysia, and they went through what we've just been through for
Yeah.
the last 6 months, and they were more prepared for it. I mean, even Taiwan. I mean, they were back in action a couple of months after
Yeah.
COVID because they were constantly monitoring the mainland. China social media for anything that even looks like it could be an outbreak, and they would go into lockdown there. So they were in lockdown in like December.
Yeah.
They knew that something was going on over there, so that's why they were right on top of it. And like apparently we're going to be practicing social distancing till 2021. I saw announced in the news today.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think most things will, be that way. The way we used to live will always be different. I don't think it'll ever go back to completely the old way that we used to live. There's going to be enough hand sanitizers in shopping centres to last us a long time anyway. So I think it's not going to go back straight away anyway. I'm just spewing about international flights, 'cause
Yeah.
people love to travel. I love
Me
to travel.
too.
You know what I mean? Surf trips, snowboard trips to
Yeah.
Japan, and all that sort of stuff. I think that's just going to be.
Mm.
But I did hear a rumor that Japan's one of the first countries that will open to Australia.
Open a little bubble. We got the New Zealand bubble as well.
Yeah, so which will be cool. At least you can go snowboarding in Japan, I guess, in February when the snow hits.
Yeah, that would be epic. It's something I've always wanted to do. How many of your friends rang you up when the pandemic hit and go, "Hey, I've got this great idea. Let's start a hand sanitizer company."
I think most of the places that used to sell grog has changed into hand sanitizers.
I got a friend who literally has about 180 boxes of hand sanitizer in his garage now that he had manufactured, thinking that he was going to make millions.
Yeah, how is he
He's like,
going?
"Man, you got to get involved.
Yeah.
You could just get on the phone, just make some calls. Look,
Yeah.
I just made 40 grand. Like, come on, man.
Well, mate.
Come on, you didn't. That's $40.
Yeah.
You didn't make that much.
Yeah, nah, I don't know whether because like everything just sort of flooded the market, so everyone had a hand sanitizer all of a sudden. So yeah, the market's flooded with hand sanitizer.
Did you think that you had COVID at any stage?
I always, every time I sneeze lately, I think I've got COVID. So yeah, especially like because we didn't know what COVID was. We were in the house. I didn't know what COVID was. I got out of lockdown and went straight into lockdown into the bloody house, and then I was stuck in home schooling the kids and stuff like that when I got out.
I reckon I had it.
Did you?
Yeah, so when the Ruby Princess was docked at Sydney
Were
Harbour,
you in the Ruby Princess?
no, well, may as well have been because I was down there at Circular Quay helping launch the new light rail system going
Yeah.
from Circular Quay right through the middle of Sydney. So I was dressed as this army soldier, and we were doing these sort of flash mob kind of drills to tell
Right.
everyone to be careful on the tram and watch for trams and everything like that. But really, we should have been saying stand away from each other and watch out for freaking COVID because you could die. And a lot of people died, and I think there was a survey the other day or some research, a study that said that something like 60% of the outbreaks in Australia ended up coming from that boat.
That one boat.
And so I remember feeling really, really sick, like a few days after the boat was there, and didn't know what COVID was. It wasn't on my radar. And I remember, because I've been sick for like 5 years,
Yeah.
and I just a bit of a cough, went home, lied down for a couple of days, and then I was fine.
Yeah.
So I potentially think I might have had it. And the people who I was staying with, they got sick too.
Oh.
And I thought, I wonder if they caught that off me. And the girl who I was staying with, she's a doctor, and she goes, I think we had COVID. I'm like, what?
wow.
Really? Did you test yourself? She goes, no, I'm a doctor. I'm pretty sure it felt a bit different. I don't think it was the flu. And I'm like, whoa.
I heard I haven't done the test, but I've heard it's quite like invasive in the nasal passage. It goes straight to your brain.
Yeah, they fully this long cotton bud. They shove it straight up your schnoz.
Yeah. No,
Have you seen the people on the news? They go on the drive-thru. They're sitting there, and some person in all the full hazmat suit just goes and shoves it, and then the car just goes.
It reminds me of that like Total Recall when they're pulling that thing out of Artie's nose.
Get your ass to Mars. Far out, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered it all.
I think we have.
How long have we been talking for?
About 50 minutes.
50?
55.
55?
It's pretty good.
I think we've had a good old chat. Any sponsors you'd like to thank, like Livin? Did you get the
Oh.
hat for free or the pants?
No,
Any other stuff?
Living's always been a nice a company or a charity that I sort of get behind anyway.
Who are they?
So Living's are like a company that deals with mental illness, like especially in males. Like it's called, like their slogans, "It ain't weak to speak." So and they deal with a lot of just male sort of mental health issues, stemming from anything really, from suicide to just not coping, and they're really really great like supportive sort of network that
So you're like an ambassador for them?
they do. I like to just promote their name and their namesake, because like a lot of people, like everyone's been through a bit of mental illness in their life. I've spoken about this openly anyway. I've massive advocate for mental health professionals, and I believe that they're there for reasons, and they do really help. So
We're taking it more seriously now. I mean, years ago it was like, oh, fucking harden up.
Yeah, it was.
You know, I think people are seeing it more now as not something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
They just say, you know, oh, like you pulled a hammy, or
Yeah.
you know, you've got something you just need to fix.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
you need to seek medical help, because there's
Yeah.
people who have actually studied this for 10 years and worked with other people in the same situation, and they can help you get back on your feet and be right as rain and happy little person the next day.
Exactly. I mean, it's not it's more like anything. It's like a build up, you know what I mean? And if you don't talk about stuff and get it off your chest, it's so easy that you feel like the world's caving in on you sometimes, and you're in a dark room and you're alone, and then all it needs is like a little light shining in. Sometimes that's a health professional that can open the doors for you, and all of a sudden you feel so much better.
You're not a big sissy for talking about your problems at all, and I
No.
think you know, men and people in general in society are now talking about their problems and their issues, whatever they may be,
Yeah.
and it's organisations like Livin, and my brother Lucas Goldman, he started a podcast called Skip This Podcast.
Oh, yeah?
They say at the start, hey, this is a mental health podcast. We talk about men's problems, and if you're not into that, skip this podcast.
That's great. I love it.
And
So-
they did a big fundraiser the other day where they did a workout day at a local gym that went all day and raised a whole stack of money. And I worked with Gus Warland,
Oh, yeah.
who used to do the breakfast show at Triple M in Sydney,
Yeah,
and
yep.
he's got a mental health organisation called Gotcha for Life.
Yep.
And some of the stories that they tell on the podcast with their friends, and you know, I know Brownie, who's the co-host of the podcast, like he contemplated suicide at one stage. It wasn't for his friends, and talking about it, you know, there's a chance that he wouldn't be around. He's just the loveliest guy, like funniest person you'll ever meet, Robin Williams style personality, and you just never know what's going on in someone's head.
No, like sometimes I always say, like the bigger the smile, sometimes, you know, the harder you don't know what's going on behind someone's smile. Sometimes they're just smiling to glaze through a problem. You know, some people just laugh and smile through everything, and you know, it takes like someone to ask, you know, are you all right? You know, what's going on in your life to stop them from probably, you know, contemplating doing something, you know, that they can't come back from, you know. And suicide's one of those things that you can't come back from. It's a kind of a finale, you know, a final decision, and unfortunately, it does happen a lot.
You've had a few rough times in your life where you've dealt with it. How did you
Yeah.
get over it, and how would you explain to someone out there that might be going through it right now to get over it? And
Yeah,
to move
I've
on?
had a couple of rough things, but the hardest thing for me was just admitting it as well, like admitting that I needed help. Like, and after you get to that point that you realize you do need help, and it's not just going down with your mates and smacking piss at a bar, or going out for a game of golf and never hearing from them again. You know, it takes time, you know what I mean? And you do get these sessions and you go through them and you speak to a professional, and over time, and you know, they do dig deep and find out about your problems. But you know, if you're willing to divulge your problems to someone, a stranger, it'll definitely be beneficial for you.
Yeah, because sometimes if you've got a lot of things going on in your head and it's really getting you down, when you verbalize them and start talking to them, you go, oh, actually, that does sound quite ridiculous. I really shouldn't be upset about that.
Yeah.
And then you can just move on.
Yeah, you can. And then obviously there's things that happen in people's lives, and not just mine, but everybody's, that you can that are big roadblocks, and you can't get past unless you and you do verbalise them to someone, and then once that happens, and you can just start smiling and keep kicking goals.
I love how many organisations there are now that are
so
jumping
many.
on the bandwagon and promoting mental health and
Yep.
getting men to talk about their problems, women to talk about their problems,
Yep.
people talking about what they've been through.
Yep.
I mean, Movember's obviously been around for a long time,
Massive, yeah.
and they do a great job. So yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Livin, and keep up the good work.
Movember, Beyond Blue, no dramas. Let's get into them, mate. Yeah, thanks for being there, helping us, get through it.
Helping you get through life
Yes,
and helping
definitely.
Oki
Yeah. That's not great.
with his pendulum thing to go surfing. Let's go for a surf with Oki right now.
I'm gonna go down and surf anyway. I'm gonna get back down there this afternoon and have a wave.
Good on you, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks
mate.
for driving up to Brisbane all
No
the way from
worries,
Tweed.
no
You got
worries.
some other stuff to do here. I hope we weren't the only thing you came up here for.
No, I might have to stop and see Dad. I haven't seen him in about 6 months.
nice.
So, been in the bubble.
Sounds
so
good.
we'll go up and say g'day, and maybe he can buy me lunch.
Awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Australian Online News. Go to australianonlinenews.com.au if you'd like to watch the episodes, or onthemic.com. And check out brisbanestudios.tv, where you can hire this studio or Edward Street, the city, if you want to film yourself a little corporate video. That's where we film a lot of those shows that I was talking about before. The Ruck, The Take, and a whole heap of sports shows.
The Green Room's
The
coming
Green
up.
Room coming soon
Yes.
with Shakashino. So thank you to them, and thank you to BSG, Brisbane Sound Group, brizsound.com.au. They've got all the gear if you want to do a podcast, the Road Podcaster. They got these short mics, anything that you need to start up a show, or if you want to become a DJ, go to brizsound.com.au. Talk to Josh and the team at Briz Sound, Brisbane Sound Group. Cheers, man.
These are great mics.
They're beautiful mics,
Aren't they?
especially when you talk with a deep, grovelly voice. How good is your
How's
voice?
this the
Can-
golden voice box over here?
Can you do this?
Doesn't it? Like he's like, I
let's
don't
see,
even know
let's
how-
see yours.
Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bad Girls.
Did you ever have that job?
Yeah, I actually did it when I was 18 years
Oh
old.
no! Delete this interview.
I'll do my Bad Girls thing, right? Oh yeah, gentlemen, welcome to Bad Girls. It's Friday night. We've got the very sexy Mike Goldman up on stage. That's right, ladies. Come on down.
why-
Give him $5. He'll give you some personal
Not that I've
attention.
been- not that I've been to a strip club, but they always sound like they're the rocker
Yeah,
DJ from the 1950s.
that's right.
Oh, it's on Countdown.
That's right. Come
Coming
on
at
down,
ya.
guys. That's right. That's right. Giddy up, giddy up.
Stop it, or I'll give you a lap dance.
It'll cost you.
Good on ya. Thanks for watching. Shakashino.
Thank you.
Awesome, dude.
Cheers, mate.
That's great.
It's fun.
Man, you could talk. It's a very different interview compared to the last one, isn't it?
Oh, man, what was
Little
it?
tiny.